Shalom, welcome to Mitzvah Torah. This year is entitled Sitting Next to a Woman on a Plane, Train, Subway, etc. So it's the third in the series. The first one we just discussed in general. Yes, Yochanan does right. It's an area that a person should be extra careful in staying away from women who might just be friendly and sound like platonic relationship. Could be a lot more than that. Chas v'shalom. But we said still, it can't just take a general statement like that and then prohibit every action. You have to look into each case. In the second one, we discussed Negiah. The Rambam says it's an issa from the Torah, and the Ramban says it's a prohibition from the Rabbanan. It's still, most poskim say, that's only when it's derech tavan, a pleasurable kind of a way. When it is not in a pleasurable way, then you don't have this from the Torah, and it seems even from the Rabbanan, like a doctor checking a woman now, where she's a married woman, and he's going ahead and checking her pulse, and a lot more than that. Now, the specific case. So Rav Moshe Feinstein many years ago had the question of going on a subway where you're going to be in a tight subway, tight train, it's rush hour and bumping into a woman. You're not planning on it. That's not your intention, but that's what happens. Strap hanger, you're hanging and bumping into each other. And it's not your intention in any way. So in Even HaEzer Bet, Siman Yudala deals with the case. First, but he goes through what we discussed, namely, is a prohibition from the Torah, a prohibition from the rabbis. The Rambam holds it from the Torah. The Ramban holds touching is Rabbanan, but he does mention that's only if there's derech ta'ava, if you're doing it in an affectionate way. If you're not doing it in an affectionate way at all, you're not even intending to touch like on the subway, the Rambam says it goes from a prohibition from the Torah, not to prohibition from the rabbis, but to mutter, permissible. And he says that is the position over here, that if there's no derech ta'ava, if it's not an affectionate way, there's no prohibition whatsoever. Yes, there's a Beit Yosef at the end of Kuf Tzadi Hey, that's where he's very stringent about a man when his wife is in Nidah. But as we learned, a woman when she's in Nidah and the husband, that's a whole different set of rules. They can't even pass things to each other. To be alone at the table eating together, this prohibition they have that a man and someone else doesn't have. So it's a whole different world. So the Rav Moshe says, in terms of the Negiah, the prohibition, whether from the Torah or the rabbis, from Rambam or Ramban, is only when it's an affectionate way, they're tavan. So now he gets into the subway case. So you're going onto the subway now, and you're planning on just sitting in your own seat, standing in your own place. But you could go ahead and be pushed around and might accidentally bump. He said into each other. He said, well, that's not the prohibition, not from the Torah, not from the rabbis. And therefore, there's no Isser here. So he says, well, what if you're a person that you're going to start having bad thoughts and your mind's going to go into bad places? Well, that's a separate discussion. If you have that case, what to do? But if that's not the case, where your mind's not going to end up going to different places and things are going to change with the man and he's going to go into a crazy manner. But if that's not the case, you're with your sefer, you're with whatever you're on the train, the plane, so wherever it is. You're sitting and you're learning. And by accident, the person moved, getting out of the seat and bumped into you. He says there's no Torah prohibition, there's no rabbinic prohibition, and therefore it's mutar. So it comes out from Rav Moshe, Even HaEzer Bet, Siman Yudalid, that a person can be on the subway, can be on the train, can stand in a crowded area where they may bump into each other, can sit next to each other where they may bump into each other. Again, unless the guy's some extreme case where he knows is going to get him crazy, then that's a separate discussion. Even then, Rav Moshe doesn't say in such a case, so don't go on the train at that time. He doesn't say anything about, holding up the plane. It's a rare, extreme case. He didn't discuss holding up a train. I don't think they even emptied his mind. A person going to hold up a plane for such a case and demand things. So Rav Moshe is quite clear. There's no prohibition, not from the Torah and not from the rabbis in a typical, normal case.